All right, well, you and Abba, you're here. This is it, the big showdown.
I don't know. Obviously, it has a lot, like 30-minute videos. I just was curious if you still had stuff to say while we're in the call.
No, I said everything I had to say. I mean, it's just a repetition of what I told you.
I didn't really watch the video. I saw the beginning of it. I'm like, okay, he's doing the thing that a lot of people are doing right now. I get it.
Cool, cool. Well, if you didn't watch it, then we good. We have nothing to talk about, I suppose.
Or maybe you could have told me instead of making another hit piece video, like, well, everyone's against me right now, while Big Tech's against me, all these soy boys, you could have sent a text or a call before making all these videos.
Hold up. So I texted you before I talked about the DJ academic stuff, and I texted you before. You remember I texted you, and I barely talked about you in that video. 1, 2. I didn't even make this video until you called me and you said, yo, how come you talk about this but not my deplatforming? I said, oh, well, if you want me to talk about the deplatforming, then I will. I didn't make the video before that. You told me to talk about it, and now that I've talked about it, you're like, well, why did you make a video about it?
I didn't tell you to talk about it. I said that on a commentary channel where you frequently talk about drama and like people you know in the community, that may be talking about how this is a problem that everybody can get wiped from all these platforms. And then also single out something that makes me look bad and makes it look like I'm committing an essay on camera. That's really not the reason. I was banned off of pretty much every single social media site. It has nothing to do with that. I think that's a bigger issue than trying to equate it to like I told you so or fresh and fit. That's too simple of a video. But I understand it does well for your audience.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I did it for the views. And anything else? There's nothing else to talk about. If you think I'm doing this because it's for views, then we have nothing to talk about. What can I offer in this conversation?
If it's not for views, why do you think you're doing it?
But you're already convinced of why I'm doing it. You're so sure that I'm doing it for the views. This is, again, what I spoke about the video. You are incapable of taking accountability. In your own final message, you're like, oh, KSI is hating. Oh, look at him gloating. And basically what he said in the clip is, I told him he's moving mad. And that's your idea. No. That's your idea of someone hating on you or making fun of you.
That clip was edited improperly. I didn't edit the video. He went on Twitter and he replied, who? When Keemstar said that Sneako was banned on YouTube, he said, who? Question mark? Which I think, is making fun of a situation where I got banned because he clearly knows who I am. We went back and forth. And so he's just trying to gloat and he's trying to make it about clout.
Okay, so let me ask you. So this is your opportunity. This is your opportunity right now. What do you think that you did wrong to contribute to your situation?
Of getting banned off of every social media platform?
Yes.
Tell the truth.
Okay, all right, then this is my case in point. That's why I made the video. You are unable to see the ways in which you contribute to your own outcomes, and you just think you're just telling the truth.
You are unable to see why I got the strikes. You didn't talk about that. You didn't talk about the first strike was COVID misinformation, the second strike was election misinformation, and the third one was cyberbullying for a clip that was not even what you played in the video. It had nothing to do with that.
Listen, once you made that clip on that girl, you know what happens? She talks to her manager. Her manager goes to YouTube, and YouTube finds a way to go after you without making her implicated. The reason why they didn't cite that clip is they didn't want your fans to go after her so you can quote her. YouTube has good ways of working. They won't actually claim what it is exactly for. They understand you've broken the rules, and then they work backwards. You don't understand that once you made that video, YouTube was looking at you all kinds of crazy. Now, you don't need to believe that. You can believe it's something else. You can believe it's what's telling the truth. I'm just wondering, when are you going to come into this conversation and take accountability for why you are where you are?
You said yourself it was when I was being played in the Senate. It's much bigger than just one feminist getting mad at me.
Okay. So why haven't I been banned? Why hasn't Destiny been banned? Why hasn't anybody else on the is it because we're all bots?
Well, you play the middle ground. You don't really try to talk about stuff that's going to make people uncomfortable.
Okay.
You don't talk about the issues that you don't question the powers that be, and you don't talk about the uncomfortable truths that are really happening.
Okay, what about Destiny?
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask. Hold on.
What about Destiny?
Wait, hold on. To be clear, my advice to you is not the same, okay, as Abba, who's a bot, okay? My only advice typically is, that, and I think I'll repeat the same thing I said all the time, is, and I take this as my own advice, is only fight with one person at a time. I think I've even told you that on stream. I think off stream before. As long as you fight with one person at a time, usually okay. But when you start dipping into like 2 or 3 or 4 different communities, shit gets like really because like it's kind of Abba basically just resaid what I had said before, or we're saying the same thing, that like when you do one really bad thing and people start to like, you catch their eye, people start to look for everything to axe you off of anything, and you'll start getting like, it's happening right now with a bunch of lefty YouTubers, actually me and Vosh, where people are just going through and like spam reporting every single video in our VODs because they don't like whatever shit. That's always like the thing to be careful of. But like, hold on, when you say like I have to stand up for myself, okay, for a second. When you say, like, don't speak truth to power or don't, like, make people uncomfortable, you understand that when you're talking about me, that's a really silly thing to say, right?
You
like,
make people uncomfortable, but not the powers that be, because it wasn't just YouTube. I was wiped off of every single social media platform except for Instagram. There's a reason that happened. There's a microscope on me.
Okay, well, hold on. I don't want to like make this a dick waving competition, but like I've been banned off TikTok, I've been banned off Twitter, I've been banned off Twitch. Like, how many social media platforms have you been banned off of?
All of them except for Instagram.
I've only been banned off 3.
Have you? Oh, did you up? Oh, speaking of Twitch, actually, real quick.
Wait, I got banned on Twitch for
Well,
in 2 days.
What was
for no
your
reason.
What was your ban for on Twitch?
Ban evasion?
Did you ever appeal that?
Yeah,
What did they say when you appealed?
they haven't replied, and it's been like 2 weeks.
That's
They
weird.
ban evasion for an account you never had before.
Yeah, because if you didn't have an
I
account,
never streamed on Twitch, no. So it's very clear that they don't want me. I'm talking about shit that they don't want to hear.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure somebody played that clip of you doing that to that girl, and they said, we don't want you doing that about Pokemon or anybody else. And they said, this guy got to go.
I think it's bigger than that clip. I think that's simplifying it for the audience that you have. I think it's much bigger. I think you're overlooking the COVID and the election misinformation part, which the first 2 strikes I got that happened even before that clip happened.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't speak to those 2 strikes. I will say that anytime I heard you speak about COVID or when you were...
Maybe
No,
if you were talking about-
hold
No,
up. Let me finish. When I've heard you speak about COVID stuff or election stuff, you didn't know what you were talking about 95% of the time. I think there's a giant difference between someone's talking about edgy research or things that are counter to the popular narrative, and then what you were doing was just rambling about shit you didn't know about. Yeah, you sounded like a loony conspiracy theorist half the time you spoke about these. And if somebody else won't tell you, I will. So I'm not surprised they nailed you for that. There's sympathetic cases in which I think people make sensible cases against the COVID narrative, but you're not one of them. You were never one of them. You schizo posting about it.
This information is being posted all the time online. You can make an Earth is Flat documentary. You can make all these conspiracy theories. But why are only certain conspiracy theorists labeled as harmful, and why are only certain conspiracy theorists taken off and removed? If you think I sound like a lunatic, but why is it that mine is the one that gets removed and other people, it's fine?
No, people who spread nonsense conspiracies get removed off YouTube every day. They just don't get to be as big as you. They didn't come in on the platform on some other shit where they were doing 1 minute podcasts that were like very kosher, and then once they had a big platform, all of a sudden they start talking loony conspiracies. But I can assure you, YouTube removes every single day a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists who talk just as bad as you, if not much worse.
What did I say that was nonsense?
Bro, if I'd watched you talk about COVID, I knew you didn't know what you're talking about.
What?
Now-
Tell me something specific.
Bro, I'm not going to pull up the clips. I just tell
Okay,
you
then
that.
don't say it's nonsense. Don't overwrite it as like lunatic conspiracy theories if you can't say one thing I said that's nonsense.
well, so I mean, hold on. So because I do a lot of vaccine studying, so like basically every comment you made about vaccines was like calling it the jab, saying that it was like government mandated shit that wasn't going to help you or make you feel any better. I don't know if you used the word poison ever in regards to it, but like basically everything you had to say about it was even like it. So like here's like a comparison I'm gonna make, and I hate this guy and I disagree with him, but have you heard of like Brett Weinstein?
Yeah.
That dude is I'm pretty sure that guy is pretty vaccine skeptic, and he's talked about a lot of vaccine related issues, but I think he's still on. I think he literally has a show on YouTube. But he probably brings up like a lot of the points that filter down to you, but he says it in a way less inflammatory way. It doesn't sound like he's just like going crazy, like screaming about
It's
vaccine.
not really what you say, it's how you say it. Because Abed cannot give any specifics. He says overall it's nonsense, it's conspiracy theorists, lunatic garbage. But if I'm saying similar things to Brett Weinstein and I removed it, it's pretty much
No. What you just
how
said.
you say it, not what you say.
What you
if it
just
hurts your
said-
feelings, if it triggers the bots, then they're going to remove it.
Yes.
If I'm too aggressive, if I'm too mean about it, then they got to remove it because people get.
Yeah, but what you just said is that's not only true on YouTube, that's true in life, right? Like how you say things sometimes is more important than what you say. In fact, you should know this from like your pickup artist shit, right? Or from like red pill stuff in terms of talking to women or whatever. Like sometimes it's not exactly what you say, sometimes it's how you say things. But that's true everywhere. There's no place in life where that's not true, right? Like if I got a guy that I'm talking about and some guy's like, oh, is this guy very smart? And I'm like, of course he's not smart. He's a dumb fuck, right? That sounds a lot different than somebody saying like, is that guy smart? And I'm like, oh, well, you know, like he comes from like a really background. The guy never went to school, single mom or whatever. You know, like, yeah, he doesn't know a lot about finance. Now I'm saying the same thing, but it's way fucking different, right? Somebody's gonna hear the first thing and they're gonna lose their mind. They're gonna say, oh yeah, shit, okay, of course I understand, right? Even if it's the same thing, like how you phrase things or how you approach things. It's not so much that you're giving different information, it's that it makes the intention behind the information look a lot different. So like there are some vaccine skeptic people that like, I hear them talk and I hate what they say, but it's probably coming from like a decent place, like a well-meaning place. But there are other vaccine skeptic people I hear where it's like, oh, this guy's just like filled with like vitriol and hate, and that's all he's about. Not necessarily saying you're, but I'm saying like how you say things is pretty important.
Okay. I think I proved my point by saying Abba labeled me as a crazy lunatic conspiracy theorist and could not say one thing
Yeah,
about
because
why.
you know what? When I hear retarded shit, I try not to keep it in my memory. And you said so much retarded, dumb stuff on your streams. I just would
No, but
erase it
it's a
immediately
common theme
afterwards.
that Destiny, you've heard this repeated in your panels. XQC said dumb shit. That other guy on the Muda, the Indian dude, said it's retarded. And every single time, it's like, okay, what's dumb about what I said? And nobody knows anything. They just don't like the way I said it, so they label it as
No.
retarded and write it off instead of listening to what I'm saying. Because it doesn't matter to them. They'll lowbrow me because they're 35 and they think that they know more than what I'm talking about, and they've been brainwashed to this point where they don't feel like they need to listen to me. But it's fine. They never know why they think I'm retarded. They just say I'm retarded, overwrite me, and then move on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's generally how it works. When I watch something that's incredibly stupid on somebody's stream, I turn it off and move on to the next thing. And so, no, I'm gonna finish.
If you're a commentary channel, maybe you should have some points to bring up.
If you want me to do an actual debate with you where I go and grab clips, I would normally, but everything's deleted, so a little bit hard to quote all the dumb shit you said. But absolutely, I would watch your stuff. I'm like, this is inaccurate, and I would just move on, stop watching it. Now you could go watch a debate with Destiny, and you could probably find a bunch of stuff that you said that was dumb. Just because I can't quote it to you doesn't mean you didn't say it. Just because my memory can't remember doesn't mean it didn't happen.
You're getting a little heated about it. I can remember all of Destiny's points that he brings up and tell you why I think he's wrong about it.
Okay, well, congratulations. You got a better memory than me.
Yeah, I know, but for you to have such a strong opinion about what I believe and to say it's dumb, stupid, retarded, and all this, and then not know one reason is pretty predictable. And we've heard it over and over again. DGG, everybody in this chat has heard it over and over again. I'll question people, why do you think it's stupid? They don't know.
I think there's a different barrier for like the expectation of knowing particular things depending on the environment you're confronting somebody at. So like what? No, hold on. So like here's the thing, right? So this is something that I'll repeat a lot on stream. So my first relationship, well, my second one, my kid's mom, got really physically abusive. There's a lot of crazy shit that happened, and we fought over the dumbest things. It was so stupid every fucking time. It was like the most random stupid shit. But if and it was a lot. I called the cops on her 3 times. It was a crazy relationship. But if somebody would say, "Oh, really? You fought over dumb shit? What'd you fight over? Name 2 things." I actually don't know if I could. I don't know. I don't remember the specifics. I think as humans, I think we remember kind of these broad like characterizations of things, but we don't archive like every single individual fact because we're not computers. We usually come away from a feeling. We usually come away from an event with a certain feeling or emotion about it, and that's all we really take with us.
I like how Alba did going into this call with a lot of emotion, a lot of feelings about how I'm stupid, but nothing to back.
Well, no. Hold on. To be clear, wait. Abba came to this call to argue. Really? Did he really just? Oh, he mad.
It's just, bro. I came on the street to talk economics and record labels, and then it turned into like, bro, quote the dumb stuff I've said before.
You understand my empathy drives on working on Max here. I'm sympathetic for him and empathetic to some extent because like he probably had one of the biggest ricochets of like a rubber bands in career terms of like all time, right? Like he went from like being kind of like decently popular to grow, and in the past year he shot up immensely, had a 6-figure month on YouTube, and then next month was deleted off the internet, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I can understand him not wanting to feel like I don't want to hear this shit right now about how like it's my fault and I need to do this and blah blah blah. Like everybody's after me, everybody's out to get me. I can understand that emotional response. I always say like in debates, I don't expect anybody to change their mind immediately. I wouldn't. I don't. I'm stubborn. But yeah, at some point he needs to he has to step back and be like, okay, what is like within my control? Like what can I do? You know, like when I because I've gotten banned from so much shit at this point. Like when I get banned, my first day I'll always say this out, like I'm gonna be mad as fuck. I'm gonna blame the world because fuck the world and it's not fair and it's bullshit. And I'll complain about that and I'll feel that. But then like day 2 is like, okay, well what can I do now? Because there's no point in crying over spilt milk. I'm not gonna be sad over shit that's happened. Life isn't fair, but so the fuck what? Like let's see what we do next. What other platform can we build? How can I change my behavior, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You have to be able to do that second step or else. Like my worry for Sneako is he's gonna be a guy like basically ranting about the Matrix, you know, to 45 viewers on Rumble, you know, 6 months from now, blaming like everybody else, and then he's gonna get banned from Rumble somehow when they get bigger and pick up sponsors, and he's gonna be like, "This is bullshit." Andrew Tate abandoned me.
The reason why I'm mad is I think it's sad. I think it's so avoidable, and we all said it was avoidable.
Yeah,
that's why I'm mad.
Yeah,
That's
as soon
why
as he
I'm mad.
started fighting with like KSIs and like started to get more unhinged and like fighting with every single fucking person, and like wasn't like willing to like chill just a little bit, like cool your jets.
It's like watching somebody who drinks and drive get in a car accident, and then you ask him why, and then they say the other driver was stupid. It's like, bruv, you don't see it and you're going to keep drinking and driving? Okay, then go do whatever you want to do. At some point, I'm not going to emotionally invest myself into making sure. And like, he got mad at me because I didn't cover the topic.
Well, probably because what he was asking, he probably wanted favorable coverage. That's probably what he was.
Which is such bullshit. Don't ask me for that. If I don't say nothing, it's generally because I have nothing positive to say most of the time.
Sure.
That's why that was me doing you a solid. I didn't keep open my mouth because if I would, I'm not going to get here and do some fucking,
PR stunt for you, basically.
I don't do that for nobody. I'm not gonna do that. So I was hitting up offline, be like, yo, be careful. He didn't want to hear. He said, yo, these guys are whack. They didn't cover. I said, you want me to cover it? I'll cover it, and I'll say the truth. Now, you don't need to like it. I don't really care at this point. But to me, there's just something really annoying about people who just expect everybody else to take accountability but don't understand their own involvement in the situation. I get what you're saying about being maximum empathy, but at some point when everybody warns you what it is, and it's a different thing if something happens to you randomly, and then someone's like, yo, this is your fault. I can understand you being salty about that.
Yeah.
When like everybody's warning you. Everyone on the face of the planet's telling you you're going too fast and you don't give a shit. And then afterwards, you want to act all mad about everything, bro. You miss me. You lose a lot of my sympathy at that point.
I think it's funny.
We all saw you.
Yeah, I think there's probably a stream clip. I think I literally said exactly to him that like, bro, you got to be careful because when you're on top and everybody's behind you, you'll feel like the wind is in your sails and you can take on the fucking world. But as soon as like the tides turn a little bit, you're going to be the loneliest motherfucker on the planet. And it always happens. Nobody has the internet jerk wave in their favor forever. Like the tides turn, like the waves ebb and flow. You can't pull that shit off forever. And you have to be like in a comfortable spot so that like when people start to hate on you, you're like, oh, I'm fine. I can chill or whatever. But if you keep pushing and pushing and pushing, once the like waves are against you, like it's always the end. That's like the death knell for like every content creator that dies that way. All right, bye. Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.